and are allegedly. So I'm gonna just go ahead and chit chat with y'all for a moment until we get some more people in here. Shout out to everybody that came to Twitch on Sunday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are now only 120 people away from 1,000 on Twitch. And once we get to 1,000, then finally the videos will stay up publicly and you can see it. So until we make it to 1,000, you just got to be there in the moment. After we make it to 1,000, then finally they will allow the videos to become public. So I want to say, I think they only hold the videos for up to 60 days. So think about all the stuff that everybody has missed out on if they're not in the moment. So the good thing is, once we meet and reach that milestone over there on Twitch, you can come back to Twitch and see everything on a later date. So thank you to everyone that's helping me to get to 1,000 over there. It's going to finally pay off for all of us because I can do more streaming on Twitch because you actually can see it at a later date instead of just having to be right there in the moment. So I thank every last one of you for being a part of my growth here and in other places. Also, membership. Thank you to everyone who, first and foremost, gives out memberships because you don't have to do that. And I think that that's really, really dope when you give out memberships, allowing people to come in and see what it's like in membership. And to those of you that have been with me in membership, especially if you've been with me from the beginning, many blessings to you because membership is totally different than what we do here on Wednesday and Friday. We go more off into the spiritual side of things and we get into learning about spiritual cleansing, cutting cords, ties, and attachments, and things of that nature. We don't really do the celebrity thing in membership unless I'm teaching people how to tap in for tarot class, or if we're using things that we've seen for a spiritual example. So if you come to membership, we enjoy ourselves, but it's a totally different vibe. Thank you, sweetie. To book a reading with me, absolutely. You can email me at angelkissestheoracle@gmail.com. 30-minute reading is 44, an hour is 88, an ancestral reading is 111, and a criminal aid reading is 250. That is the only reading that I have that has a 3-hour block of time. You may get all the information you need in the first 30 minutes to an hour, but because it's a very, very detailed reading and the tap in is totally different for me, I give at least a 3-hour block of time. And the reason why is because I don't block I don't put anybody in the schedule after you. I give you all of my full attention and the full ability to use all of my skills within that 3 hours. So it's way more channeling. We might touch tarot a little bit, but that's when we get more off into the seer side of what I do with the mediumship. And I could go and completely put the cards down and just channel from that point on. If you've had one of those, then you already know. So, y'all, oh, okay. We got 178 people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wanted to give y'all more time to get on in here. Thank y'all for the stickers. Those are so cute. Child, I felt so bad laughing at Ray J. I really did, but I couldn't stop laughing. I can't even lie to you. I laughed and then I laughed and then I laughed and then I laughed again, some more, and some more. Yeah, that was not supposed to be that funny. Welcome to membership. Yeah, that was not supposed to be that funny. I felt so bad because I'm like, I got the whole reason why that man you didn't want to touch him. I mean, think about it. If this man just said that he only got a few months to live, you don't want to be the one to take some of that time off of his already limited time clock. So I don't think I would have wanted to be the one to hit him either. The more the bigger picture for me is, why was Ray J in that ring at all? You got all these health problems. You're going through all these things. You telling us that your heart is not doing what it's supposed to do. Child, why are you in the ring? And the fact that that man literally gave you two knots with one damn punch. Child, I ain't never seen nobody get hit once and get an elbow over here and a doohickey right here. Like, he literally gave you two knots in one. Yeah, I went back and I watched, and it was like when the impact hit, you could see the fupa resonate. Like, literally, the dad bod stomach, it did something. It literally vibrated when he connected. I said, this don't make no sense. I see why Brandy is just like, you know what? I know that's my brother, but I just can't right now. Like, I get it. Like, child, said Wacky 100 questions how he could be cleared medically to fight. He said Ray J did not tell him he is fighting. That's a good damn question to ask, because if he's got all these health problems, then he shouldn't have been cleared at all. That's a very good question. You said seeing his belly was a crime. You know what? I thought the dad bod fight that was hilarious just in itself. But child, he should have never been cleared to probably sit in the first three rows of that fight, let alone actually being cleared to fight. That child, that made no sense at all that he was even allowed in the ring. It just, I mean, you got to give it to Whack. When he's right, he's right. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure. Okay. Make sure my phone is privatized so don't nobody call me. So now that I got, let's see, 181 of y'all in here, I can go ahead and give you the topics for today. Um, I want to tap into, why is social media accusing Cardi of selling her Birkin bags and her New Jersey house. Now, she claimed that she still has all 40 of her Birkins, but what I did notice is that she never said that she wasn't selling the New Jersey home. So it's one of those things with Cardi. It's like you gotta listen, but you gotta listen to the things that she doesn't say as well. That is what made me want to tap into this, because she said she got all 40 of her Birkins, child, but she never said that people had it wrong or had it twisted in any kind of way when it came to talking about selling the New Jersey home. Academics says that Nikki is right. He warns the Barbs to protect Nikki, and I want to tap into what's the energy behind him saying that Nikki is right. I'm pretty sure it was a photocopy ad of a Birkin, but here's the thing. That Birkin looked like it had been used, like grandma's purse that go down to the post office and back to, the supermarket. That one looked like it had been through a bit too much to be trying to get the amount that they were getting for it. Like, that Birkin worked very, very, very hard. So I would think that, Cardi would not have weather beaten Birkins. You got 40 of them. You can switch them out here and there. They don't look like everyday purses. Let's see. We got Atlantic is struggling to stay afloat, allegedly. Okay, we're going to tap into why is it being said that Atlantic is struggling to stay afloat. According to the streets, they said that there are more artists getting shelved, up to 50 more layoffs coming. This is starting to sound very, very, very rinse, wash, repeat to me, because how many times are we going to hear this? Tokyo Tony is claiming that she's putting a restraining order on Tia Kemp for harassment over her telephone. Uh, Rainwater, who used to be the manager for slain artist Mo3, just did an interview where he wanted to pretty much touch on everything that he's been accused of. And I wanted to tap into the internet accusation of Rainwater allegedly may have secretly paid for the unaliving of Mo3. So we don't know that to be true, but I've seen it floating around the internet multiple times. So I wanted to tap into that. Um, Now, this one kind of threw me. Found this in the Associated Press today. President Biden is suing Trump's backslash the DOJ to keep conversations private that he had with his ghostwriter for his memoirs. The question is, did he jeopardize public safety by sharing privileged information? And the last one of the evening, Netflix fallout after MJ slander. So Netflix just went through a really, really big transition when they tried to fire Jimmy Kimmel, and a lot of people decided to cancel their memberships. Well, there's a movement going on again where people are stating that they want to cancel their memberships because Netflix is allegedly slandering MJ's name while he's going through one of the hugest upsurges with his brand due to the movie where his nephew Jafar is playing him. So, is this going to be a really big negative effect for Netflix? And if so, how is this going to affect Netflix and the current content creators that have contracts with Netflix? Said the address that they posted of the house was wrong, but something is definitely funny with the money for Barney. She's very selective with her words. I do believe she's very selective with her words. And I thought that it was very, very intriguing that she didn't even address that part. You said on Friday, can we tap into Henny and Joanne's sister? Yes, 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 yes. So said I canceled my subscription. I'm tired of them playing with Michael for real. Um, it depends. I might tap in on Quinn Emanuel, depending on how today goes. Um, Quinn Emanuel, that situation is very, very intriguing to me because Quinn Emanuel, in my opinion, okay, in my opinion, Quinn Emanuel has put themselves into a very, very, very tight corner that I don't think they can completely get out of. And the reason why I'm saying that is that they've been, pretty much accused of being in some very, very, very questionable positions that they should not be in at, in my opinion, at all whatsoever, because it's those types of things that are going to question the morality of this law firm. And when you get to judging moral compass of a lawyer, then you have to also look at if those lawyers are ethical. And when you raise ethics type questions, then you're looking at if they should be disbarred, investigated, sanctioned. It's a lot that goes off into looking at one lawyer's ethics. So if you're going to look at the overall ethics of, a total law firm, how big is that going to be if the law firm is brought in as a whole for ethics violations? I don't think we've ever seen anything like that on, especially, when you're talking about power players and these big lawyers. And yes, I did say the lawyers are going to need lawyers. I've been telling y'all that for a while. It appears that these people are making this, more prevalent every day. Yes, I did see Henny, and I did see the whole Travis Scott thing. For those of y'all that think that's new, see, people who go way back with the Tory case, there's a sprinkle of us. It's a few of us, but I'm gonna say, to my recollection, I remember Megan went over to Travis' house to have dinner after that picture was put out with Kylie's foot. And I don't know what happened, but it seemed like a phone call came to Travis, and we never saw those two together again. But I remember Henny was going live from his house and bragging about his chef making them a private dinner. So I see a yup in here, and I know I'm not the only one that remembers that. So to see her pop back out with him, it makes me wonder, how long have you actually been dealing with him off and on? Because it looks very strange in my opinion for someone to spin the block in such a nature that you wait until his baby mama and her family are being seen in what could be a poor light due to possible, federal cases or allegations of people getting caught up, with underwear and Coca-Cola, shipments. So now all of a sudden you pop out with him. And if I ain't mistaken, y'all, that case that he got for Astro World is not closed yet. And Busby has that case too. Kind of interesting how all of this always lands somehow, some way on Busby's desk, whether he wants to know about what's going on with these people or not. Oh, that's a hell of a statement there, a question rather. I wonder if they were creeping while she was manifesting Clay as a husband. Child. Ooh, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. You know what? I'm going to add that one, and I'm going to put that one to the front because I don't want to read that when I'm tired. I'm telling y'all right now. Uh, let's see. Annabelle and Mr. Scott. Question mark. So, mm, yeah, Gemini season already cutting up. Said 27 pieces, the new googly eyes. Yes, baby. We're gonna add that one to the docket. I'm gonna push that one up first. Because it just it seems like the timing of it is more interesting than the tea of it. Because I remember these two, having dinner together and all of that. You said that picture is AI. It could be, but here's the thing. Even if the picture is AI, we still need to question, why would that be out now? Why is that a thing? Why would someone want us to even see something like that? Not even that it's AI, it's just, why would they even want us to see something like that? So I'm going to do a light tap in because I don't expect to stay off into this too long. Why is this even a thing? Why did they want us to see this in the public? Why did they want us to see this in the public? Okay, so you got Temperance and Four of Pentacles. Um, this feels like a media play. Okay, Balance through a new beginning is Temperance. Four of Pentacles talks about needing to establish roots in something, also being stubborn. So I'm tapping into the energy of, why is this image being seen? Not if it's AI or not. Why is this image being seen? First card out is Temperance, to give someone balance through a new beginning. The Hierophant, Knight of Cups. Um, and that goes two ways, because the Hierophant represents institutions and people that are of a higher level in the industry, but it also represents court. So this gives me trying to get balance through a new beginning, and pretty much the people's court, by showing a romantic or kind offer. So it definitely feels like PR to get, the public, or to win the public back before she goes to court, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Yeah. Knight of Swords, Three of Wands. So this is literally somebody like getting the word out, circulating the word to help stir up opportunities. Child, that says a lot to me. So whomever behind the scenes feels like they need to drum up, public interest, so that they can get her work opportunities. Um, Damn, that says so much. It's like they don't really expect her to be able to organically have a buzz, allegedly, child. So this is like, get her name trending, get her out here, show her dating, because they need her to come off in a safer, kinder energy before she goes to court. Yeah, Queen of Wands, Knight of Cups. So this is definitely for the public image, for us to see this publicly, for us to see her out here in this romantic way. Once again, I'm tapping into the energy of why we're seeing this picture, not if it's AI or not. I'm not tapping into if the picture is real. I'm tapping into why are we, the public, seeing this picture? Why was this out? It feels like it was meant to test the market, to get people to talking, to get people interested in her, to get her in the algorithm, to make it easier to get her bookings. Because let's be honest, in this day and age, if you don't have impressions, you don't have clicks, it is very, very hard to get you sponsorships and things of that nature if your name is not trending. So it's like they're trying to figure out a way to get her to trend so that they can bring opportunities to her, because they need her to make a certain amount of money, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, before she goes to court. Also, they want her to be seen in a kind, loving light before she goes to court, allegedly. So here it is. You've got the Empress and you've got the Fool here, which talks about a leap of faith, hoping that people can trust in a situation that is being brought into fruition. Um, the Empress is not just about a mother, it's about the creator of a situation. Um, but it's not working the way that they thought. People are still going in a different direction. So they want us to see her in a different light, to see her going in a different direction, to see that, she's still viable, she's still out here dating, all of these things. But it's like, child, it's like the public is kind of burnt out. Nobody really cares at the moment. So it didn't get the type of energy that they thought that they were going to get. It didn't get the clicks, it didn't get the impressions, it didn't get the blogs and everybody to talk the way that they needed them to get her in the algorithm. So if they want to drop new music, things of that nature, it's just like, at this point, people are kind of burnt out if it doesn't just have anything to do with the music. Them using relationship energy for her or dating energy for her is not really the best energy at this point, because it's like we just saw you get out of this major relationship, people crying, they still going to the Etsy witches allegedly. Like nobody's ready to see you go on into your next episode of Who Am I Dating This Week. And it's to the point to where now it's like we've got to find newer ways to get her engagement, because people just are not caring like they used to. Three of Cups. So yeah, Three of Cups talks about out celebrating, having a good time, soulmate energy. And it feels like this is what they're trying to sell. Okay. But the blogs are really not picking up on this story. It's almost like the blogs are like, oh, this not real. I'm not even going to talk about it. That says a lot about how they feel about the chemistry between the two of them, that they're not even willing to even entertain if this could be real or not. It's like the blogs don't even care to report on it. So if this is supposed to help get people ready for new music, they just got to go back to the basics. They really got to show her in her element in the studio, rapping, freestyling, things of that nature. This is not going to be that. Now, I mean, if they're going to drop music together, I think that would be a huge look for her, because he has a really large fan base and she could be on that festival wave doing music with him for the next year and a half, because he really does have a large group of fans that follow him, whether he drops new stuff or not. And they will come out to watch him perform. They will come out if he's doing any festivals or anything like that, anything that's affiliated with him. But I don't, me personally, this is my personal opinion. I don't think the both of them doing music and performing at a festival together is good for either one of them. For one, people are just now moving forward from, Astro World. And even though he still has a really large following, him doing music with her is not going to help him cross over his brand because his brand is so much bigger than hers that it could do the same thing for him that it did for BTS. Like BTS dominates no matter what they do, but the music that they did with Megan, their own fan base didn't really feel it, so it didn't really go anywhere, if that makes sense. So for me it was like, damn, you did music with BTS, and BTS is always through the roof, but not this time. So I don't see it really being beneficial for him as it is for her. Like this isn't going to build his social status. He's already, dated and had a child with the Kardashian Jenner. So this is not something that he needs for social relevance. Um, Page of Pentacles, Ten of Swords. So Page of Pentacles talks about new business endeavors and ventures, and Ten of Swords talks about, a heavy betrayal. So this is child. It's almost like he's being warned to not go into business with her because people are going to look at him and see him as somebody that is not following like the underground secret program. We just said K-pop fans don't really like having American artists in their K-pop in general, to be honest. Um, I find that to be absolutely hilarious because without K-pop studying American brand music, especially urban music, R&B and hip hop, there would be no K-pop or J-pop. And you just keep going on and on and on. So, I mean, they can feel how they want to feel, but at the end of the day, without New Edition, without B2K and the Jackson 5 and the boy band era of America, what exactly would K-pop be seriously? You said Nicki's song with BTS, so well, that's interesting. Because if K-pop doesn't like American artists performing with their artists, and if they are, you know, people who don't like these types of aesthetics, and the music with Nicki sold, then that means that this is more of a brand issue. That was not what I meant to say, y'all. Yeah, this is not a brand issue. It's like they're if they're going to take Nikki over you, this isn't about color. So you got to look at before there was a move with K-pop, Nikki already had a relationship with the Asian market. She was already over there. She was already into the Harajuku movement and all of that types of things. So I could see them merging with her brand, better than anybody else because she was already showing them love. She was already over there in their market. They had a reflection of their culture along with what she was doing with her music. So that That right there tells me that if it's an issue with, color, then at that moment the real issue is the color money. Because at the end of the day, that color money is always going to rule everything, whether people don't like your kind or not. They like money. Okay. So, I mean, I've watched crossovers happen. Like, if you look at, you got Shakira and she works with Cardi, and that didn't do well. It actually was one of the least performing songs that I've ever seen Shakira have, next to Beyonce Beautiful Liar, which is saying a lot because here it is. You got Cardi preparing to leave rap to go off into what she feels is going to take her more off into like world music and like that lane that Bad Bunny and um I want to say more Latin artists are in. And I don't think she's thinking that her core audience may not cross over with the sound, and she's not guaranteed to go off into the Latin music industry and feel the love either, because you've spent pretty much 90% of your career in a sector that didn't really include where you're going. So interesting enough. Let's see, last card on Annabelle and Travis. So when it comes down to it, y'all, it looks like he's going to be the one to reject her because he wants to keep his standing with his fans and publicly, and you know that is the mother of his child. So yeah, so I see him of being the one that just sees the writing on the wall and walks away from this situation. But it feels like the reason why we were even fed this in the first place was to get her moving in the algorithm to prepare people for either music or some project that's going to drop. And it just didn't didn't hit the mark. You said so. Camel will be in my city this weekend for a concert. Oh, that concert is this week. Thank you, thank you. It's kind of funny that that concert is coming and the album was supposed to drop. What was that? The last week of March, and then we made it through March, April. Now we're practically, you know, out of May, and that album still hasn't dropped. So it makes you wonder, like, now that Nikki decided that she's going to push hers back, how far are you going to push yours back? Because to me it feels like you want to hear what Nikki got to say before you drop yours, so that you can have a response queued up for Nikki. But the surprise came when Drake dropped Iceman, and he dropped those three projects. And out of all people, you got Drake that came out swinging on you. Something that was totally out of left field that you didn't expect. So it's interesting. So let's see. I'm gonna knock these two out back to back. It says, why is social media accusing Cardi of selling her Birkins and the New Jersey house? And is Atlantic struggling to stay afloat? Those are going to go back to back. So the bigger question is not about if Cardi is actually selling anything. It's why is this narrative out here? Why is somebody trying to, push this idea that Cardi is losing everything? Like, why is this something that is, really, really, really being sent throughout social media? So the timing is quite interesting, to say the least, because it's like, okay, well, she's getting ready to prepare to go on the European leg of her tour. Um, she's preparing to, get out another mass order with her hair care company. Now we're seeing all this stuff go back and forth with her and Diggs, and her looking like she's not able to control her temper, and then this. So it just feels like somebody wants this narrative out, but the question is why? Why do they want us to believe that there could be trouble in paradise when it comes to Cardi's money? Now, oh, thank you. Said I'm gonna need you to start taking nail clients because my stones come off in like a day or two. You said, does she have European fans? I'm pretty sure she does, but the bigger picture for me is not if she has European fans. It's more so, will the European fans actually put in the interest to buy tickets, to go to the concerts, to show up in the droves? Like, we have to remember WAP was so many years ago, and that was one of the biggest songs around the world. So, what does she have that is circulating in the global charts right now that's going to do well with a European fan base? Because most of what we saw that made the show, appear to, be lit or made it a bigger and better show was her having special guests. Is the show going to hold up without special guests? And who would her special guest be when she goes to the UK? Like, would she call up Steph London? Like, would she call up, you know, I mean, it's several of them that she could call, but it's like, who would she call to come out and represent the UK at her performance? So it's just, is the interest going to be the same going over there? Yeah, Miss Banks for sure. Lord, not the coconut water. First of all, I told y'all, I told y'all that Akbar V was gonna drop something anyway. And what did she do? She dropped her response to coconut water. It was called Fiji, was it Fiji or Fiji water, something like that. I laughed when I saw it. I laughed when I saw it. I said, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew she was just going to drop something to test the water. But child, let's go off into why they're putting this narrative out on Cardi. Why is this narrative out on Cardi? Now there's a cat hollering outside. Okay. So you got the two of swords here and you got the chariot. So somebody definitely wants to slow down or stop Cardi's motion. But why? What is this? What is this about? Queen of Pentacles, King of Swords. Now, Queen of Pentacles talks about her being financially able to handle the things in her household, but it looks like she's going to have issues with people in corporate and legal issues coming pretty soon. 6 of Cups, yeah, it's like things from her past are going to come back to cause her problems, and it's a truth that's attached to her past that is really, really, really going to give her pause. Page of Swords and Page of Pentacles. So she's got some issues where she needs to be very, very mindful of some of the things that she says and some of the things that she's done throughout the last years. I've already told y'all that, her mouth was going to catch up to her. It was going to cause her problems if she didn't watch what she says. Um, Mikey, I don't know, but I will say this: them even mentioning that means that she's on their radar. And if they can tie that into something bigger that will actually help them overall, she can hang it up. Because I do see there are legal troubles coming towards her that are attached to her past, and she's not taking it serious, but they are watching. 5 of Swords. So she needs to be very cautious of the things that she says when she gets defensive or she calls herself standing up for herself, because it's something that she said or something that she's going to say that can be used against her, and she may turn around and say, well, that's not how I meant it, or that's a conflict in interest. But at the end of the day, whether it's how you meant it or not is not what's going to be important legally. They're going to look at what you actually said, what actually happened, and we know that she gets to pop in it. She gets angry, she goes off, and then she'll come back later and it's like, well, I didn't really say that, or that's not what I meant, or she might not remember certain things that she says and people come back and bring it up to her. Like, this is going to end up being a problem for her. So I think she needs to be more mindful of the way that she communicates on live, because these things are going to backfire on her. 5 of Wands, especially, I got to say allegedly, but especially threatening to fight people or to have aggression towards people, and claims that you will send people to fight people. Okay. She has to understand that that is considered to be like a terroristic threat. So you can't keep saying things where you're talking about sending people to fight people allegedly, because if something does transpire and your history in the past states that you will do things like this or you have done things like this is definitely going to backfire in your face. So she's got to really start watching what she's saying, because it's like, yeah, you back in the day in the Bronx, when you didn't know how you were going to pay your phone bill, talking crazy is not going to be seen the same as wealthy you that can be taken to court, that can be sued, that can be, how do I say this? People can be incentivized to handle you in a legal way now, because it's like back then you didn't have it. The public, whoever who may have been offended, didn't have it, but it's different now. So she's got to mature in that type of way. The Emperor and the Nine of Pentacles. So this talks about her possibly um, being separated from her child's father. due to tempers flaring, allegedly. So you got the devil here and the star. And I warned y'all that he would possibly put her in a position to where we would see stories about her in the media. Um, and he was going to make sure that, you played with him. He plays back, but he plays to keep, allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. So, child, it's like she doesn't want to admit that this situation is becoming too toxic for her. Page of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. So it's like either somebody she's done business with or somebody she's doing business with is, telling her about, how this is starting to look, how this is, affecting future business, future revenue. Um, she's all in her head right now about how to move forward, how to just focus on business. But it's like she'll start off good and then she gets distracted. Yeah. So you got the Eight of Cups here with the Seven of Wands, and literally that's someone being cut off and forced to walk away. And it's like she's being defensive. Uh wow. Yeah. So it's like a lot of her business choices right now, and this represents her sign, Libra. She's got to figure out what she needs to do and stay focused, like really, really stay focused on her business acumen. Six of Cups. Yeah, something that has to do with her past that could affect her legally. She's going to have to defend sometime soon. So she may have thought that she got away with everything in her past, but there's something that's going to be brought back to the surface to where, in the past, she may have been like, well, I ain't apologizing for nothing, this, that, and the other. It is what it is. But it looks like in today's climate, she's going to have to be mindful of how she claps back, what she says, how she responds to things that people, produce of the old her. I think that it would be very, very decent of her to say, listen, I was immature back then. I didn't make the best choices. Um, I'm a different person today. And I apologize to anyone I offended in the past. Like, to me, I think that would be a better route to go than for her to go off and to start, really going in on people, because it's going to be seen as toxic, argumentative, and it will affect her branding. Yeah, people will go in a different direction. So if she wants to keep balance, I think she needs to get better at evolving in the way that she handles conflict. Because the way that people tolerated you before, that's not going to continue. So yeah, Five of Swords. Yeah, she's got a lot of anxiety attached to what is considered negative conversation about her, especially when it comes to work. Eight of Pentacles, because it's like she's ready to just go ahead and move forward towards victory. She's heavy in her thoughts, heavy in her head right now about how things are going to go forward. So that to me means that things are not etched in stone the way that she may want us to think that they are. It's like she's still fighting to get things aligned the way that she needs them aligned. Yeah, with the label heads, King of Swords. Also, dealing with her lawyers to heal and rectify situations for her as well. Uh, so here it is. The chariot falling under the emperor is letting me know that she's not the one that's making the choice to move on. It's being made for her. She's just going to have to trust the process and take this leap of faith. The devil, the king of pentacles, 10 of pentacles. So it's like she's still very obsessed with this idea of marrying someone in a certain tax bracket to get to this money. And listen, I can't say what her standard should be. She is in a higher tax bracket, so I feel like it's safe for her to date in that tax bracket because I mean, if the person she's dealing with has a limited amount of success, it could blow up in her face if she has to, somewhere down the line pay out child support or alimony herself. So I do feel like it's, a good thing for her to date in her tax bracket, but she needs to take some time to heal, slow down a little bit. You can't just keep jumping in and out and in and out and in and out relationships because this is going to keep her in a downward spiral. She could end up with somebody else that has money, but I don't see her just meeting a husband right away. She may be, who knows, three, four partners down the road before she meets husband type energy. And it's because she has some things that she needs to heal. She needs to focus more so on herself right now than the idea of wanting to be attached to somebody. You can be legally attached to somebody, but not mentally and spiritually attached. And it just it's like just take a little bit more time. Take some time for yourself. Um, because it's like you're gonna have a couple more rebounds. Yeah, and this is it. She needs to get more comfortable with working and being by herself. But this is like a dark night of the soul for her because she spends so much time in her head worrying about what people think and what people have to say instead of just enjoying her life. Now, I got to say that's alleged and for entertainment purposes only, but I think she needs to get more comfortable with getting to know somebody first before you introduce them to us. Get to know them, spend some time off of social media, date for a while without telling us all your business. That way, things don't work out, no big deal. We didn't know, we weren't brought into it. It is what it is, right? Seven of Cups. So, Seven of Cups to Two of Cups. And that's just what I was just saying. She's going to go through several more people before she finds her Two of Cups. And it's only because she's got to slow down and heal. She's looking for Mr. Forever in every opportunity. And Mr. Forever is not going to be in every opportunity. Mr. Forever shows up when you do the dark night of the soul, work on yourself, and you heal because you could have already met Mr. Forever and turned them down because you felt like they were boring, they were corny, they didn't turn up the way you turn up, and then here it is. You start to heal, you start to evolve, and it's like, damn, I already met the perfect match, but I, you know, I pretty much put them on the shelf and left them behind because I was looking for somebody that was lit, and all the lit people weren't actually the ones. Yeah. So she's really going to have to master not feeling like she has to always pop out every time somebody says something, because this is going to turn into a tower for her. And it's going to literally be a tower for her because it's going to take away from her marketability. She's got to stop responding to every single little thing. Yeah, so right now it's like things are not moving as fast as she would like to with work to make money. So she's making money, but it's not coming in the way that she's accustomed. Yeah, six of pentacles, knight of swords. um Child, there's going to be more messages coming out in the future about her and her money, money that she may end up needing or needing to pay. Yeah. So it's like for her to get her wish fulfillment, she's just going to have to really focus and go in a different direction than, trying to always prove her point, prove that she's, right or whatnot. Eventually, people going to believe what they're going to believe. And she's got to get better at being okay with that. You can't make people believe things they don't want to believe one way or the other. So show me this fight with this King of Swords. Yeah, it feels like her and the label execs are not really seeing eye to eye the way that they should. Like she comes in very, very hopeful, like let's take this leap of faith, let's get this done. But Four of Cups, it ends up somehow, some way getting rejected because of, they're looking at what they're going to get out of this. She's looking at, okay, I want to go on tour to balance this out. I want to make some more money. I want to do this. I want to do that. And for them, it's like, how is that going to benefit us? We see how it's going to benefit you, but how is that going to benefit us? Damn. So she may have to invest in this European tour like she did this United States leg for them to collaborate with her again. So um either she's going to have to get some really good sponsorships or she may have to chip in all over again to go on tour. So I don't think she would want to chip in to go on tour because it's like I already went through a lot to go on tour in the first place. And going on tour is very expensive. Yeah, it will be a very heavy burden for her if she has to invest herself to go on tour again. Said Mickey Howard did an interview basically saying Atlantic's investment in Cardi caused the black artist to miss out on money. Ooh, I haven't seen that interview. That's interesting. And that's a name. That's a name for a name. For those of y'all that don't know who Mickey Howard is, look her up. Amazing singer, and it was an urban legend that went throughout the industry for years that her son was Michael's son. Um, I've never seen that to be proven. We don't know anything about if that's true or not, but Mickey Howard definitely was one of those girls when she was singing. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. So it looks like she's going to have to be very, very strategic to come up with this money to do what it is that she needs to do this European leg of this tour, because it does not look like they're being helpful the way that she needs them to be. Said Mickey, yes, she never holds her tongue, and baby, I love her interviews. She don't do them too often, but she makes sure that she had you talking when she do. So I think this is a good segue here. Hold on, I'm gonna clear the table and I'm gonna go off into if there are financial issues over at Atlantic, and if so, what is that going to look like over the next year or two if Atlantic is having issues? Okay, you said you think it may have happened last year because she said 2025 in the clip. Possibly. All righty, let's see. Is there a financial slump over at Atlantic? Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. We're trying to figure out if there is a financial slump at Atlantic. If so, what is there to expect? Mm-hmm. Child, listen. Child, listen. What the heck is going on over there? First card out, Tower. Tower means that there is definitely something that is affecting the whole foundation of this company. And it's something that feels permanent, something that's going to change everything. Pardon me, y'all. Hold on. This is how I think she likes being on tour. Okay, explain this tower over here. Okay, child, this feels like somebody feeling apologetic over something that was supposed to be a wish fulfillment. Page of Cups to the Nine of Cups. Why would you be apologetic over something that was supposed to be a wish fulfillment that obviously caused the tower moment? What is this? Yeah, so King of Swords represents people that work in corporate, okay, and lawyers. Four of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. So this is telling me that they're deciding who they want to reject to work with, because Four of Cups talks about turning things down. So, child, when it comes to work. So remember I said earlier that it sounds like they could possibly be laying off employees and shelving artists again. That is the rumor. We've already heard that this is a thing. Um, Apparently, allegedly, Ed Sheeran has gone his separate way, and the parent company, the larger hand in this, I'm gonna see how many of y'all know y'all paperwork and your mergers and conglomerates. If Atlantic is having issues, who is the larger company that will end up absorbing these issues? I'm gonna look and see down here in the comments if y'all know. There we go. There we go. The two last answers. Thank you, ladies. There we go. I got a smart bunch over here. I got a smart bunch over here. So if that puts some things in perspective for you, okay, there is a situation with an artist whose energy we just read, who has a contract through that same company that they got through their alignment with their new management. So y'all see how This is going to topple the parent company, because if they can't make their money back, then that means that parent company is going to lose a ton of money. Now it goes down to what is the amount of ownership per company? Who has the lion's share? Because whoever has the lion's share is literally going to take the larger hit. Because even if the other company gets absorbed, it has to be absorbed. They have to do the write off. They have to do the P&L statement. They have to figure a way to offset that loss. So if Atlantic goes under, we're just at, we're putting that out there hypothetically. If they go under, they're not the only ones that are going to be affected by this. The one that's going to get hit harder is Warner. See, UMG is distribution. That's different than who actually signs you for your overall contract. Distribution gets added in after you get signed for your contract because they have to distribute your music. But you have to get signed first or have your own label established before you can get distribution. The distribution company is still going to be doing distribution whether this company stays or goes. So that's how you separate the two. They lose a client, but the market opens up for distribution for other entities. Okay, talk to me about why they are turning down business opportunities or chances to work with certain people. Said Atlantic sank so much money into the revenge plot against Nicki with Cardi, they effed off so much money. We got to say allegedly, but that sounds interesting. Yeah, so it feels like right now they're more worried about balance through a new beginning and who's going to keep the lights on. Three of Wands, who's going to make money, in multiple regions. So if it don't make dollars, it really don't make sense right now. And if they feel like you're not going to make them a certain amount, you can hang it up right now. Yeah, you can hang it up right now. They're not working with you. Literally cutting you, cutting room floor. I have to say allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. But if they're talking about shelving 50 artists, this would be the reason why. They are only dealing with those right now that have a high rate of return. If they can't get you to make a high rate of return, it's going to be grand opening, grand closing, point blank, period. If they put something into you on the low end and you stay on the low end, they're not coming to put nothing back into you going into the Thanksgiving, Christmas season. Everybody that they're putting money into right now is who's going to bring them that rate of return before the next physical tax year. Yeah. Wish fulfillment is balanced through a new beginning. So, child, this feels like throwing a dead weight over the side of the ship. Said I read that Three of Wands as them looking at three artists and trying to decide which one will bring them in the money. Definitely, it could be plausible for sure. But if you're not bringing them money, you're not really going to get anything out of them. So this really was like the worst time ever for her to go on tour under this company, because it's all about the high rate of return. If it's not going to bring them the rate of return that they expect, they are not investing in it. And that goes for anybody on the label, not just, one. Yeah. So here it is. They're only giving people offers on true numbers, true investments, people who are truly bringing in the lion's share of the company's numbers. Yeah, the emperors and the five of wands. Yeah, this is causing a stir. Even with the people on the label who may be considered like the top 10. Top 10 don't mean nothing. It's literally, um, we're gonna go with the top three and a possible. Damn. I think everybody gonna feel it, when it comes to possibly knowing what it's like to feel more like an independent artist, where you have to push yourself, you have to put more into yourself. Yes, and Ed Sheeran just left after 15 years. Expect to see more. So you got people that feel stuck, they feel trapped. They're trying to figure out how do they fight to keep their place or fight to be released. I mean, at this point, you might want to fight to be released, because if you ain't making them enough money, at least they can let you out your contract so that you can go and, you know, do some indie stuff and make your own money. Because a lot of times, indie artists may do smaller shows, but they make more money because they keep more in their pocket. You said, does Atlantic profit when their artists get brand deals? It depends on how the management and everything is set up. I'm pretty sure that they do, especially if the music has to be licensed into the commercials and things of that nature. Like those types of things definitely make money for whoever has ownership of the masters and ownership of the publishing. Now, not everybody is owning their masters or their publishing. So for those people, everybody makes more money off of them but them. Yeah. So it's like everything is up in the air now. Two of Pentacles, everything's dicey because it does look like it's like really, really hard for them to move forward and maintain. So it does look like where there's smoke, there's fire. Something is definitely going on over there. Damn, Six of Cups to I mean, excuse me, Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups. There we go. Page of Cups. I'm looking at it and saying it wrong. Page of Cups. This is being apologetic for money that they poured into someone fighting, okay, to establish a brand. They're now regretful that they, put that money in and they fought as hard as they did. Yeah. So they're looking at all their investments. And when you get to Seven of Pentacles, it talks about sowing seeds and waiting for the harvest. So you can plant the seeds, but you're not guaranteed that you're going to yield a harvest. So here it is, public figure, everybody knows your name, everybody loves you, but we're still waiting for the harvest for everything that we invested. Child, y'all know the line, you reap what you sow, better get a seamstress. Somebody needs somebody over here to figure this out. Yeah, so here it is, the Dark Night of the Soul, the Hermit, the Ten of Pentacles. Um, Child, you're gonna have several artists over there that are gonna come forward and complain about being ghosted when it came time for them to have opportunities, or them having to go out and get opportunities on their own without support, because it's like there's no more money going out. Ten of Pentacles, the next row is the Two of Swords. So they're definitely not um, funding things the way that they used to. Everything done in the dark is now being exposed in the light. So, child, we're about to get more information that's going to come out soon. This could be from artists that are very disgruntled, and this could just be from, documents or whatnot being exposed, contracts, things of that nature. People are about to find out that it's not what they've been thinking this whole time. And from here on out, the wish fulfillment is going to be, it's like they would rather invest in fly by night artists that people are actually watching. Okay. So, that's like people who have internet presence. They're looking at your impressions. How many impressions are you getting on the internet? We'll take these people that do well on the internet who are already getting impressions, and we'll put a couple dollars into them. We don't expect to have them long, but we can make quick money on a short term investment. So here it is, child of lovers, Gemini season it is, and the star. A lot of people are behind the scenes trying to heal or rectify their contracts, get the contracts possibly reworked, re-signed. The bigger artists that can take their name elsewhere. They're not going to have a problem with taking their name elsewhere, because some of them have a big enough name to where all they need is distribution, and they can create their own companies. Like Ed Sheeran is someone I definitely think can pull that off if he doesn't go to get signed with another major. It's certain artists that can pull that off. Other artists, they need the structure. Yeah, people gonna start spilling the beans, y'all. The Fool and the Ace of Swords. So snitch Olympics, y'all. People are about to be disgruntled. They're about to be upset. And they're about to start spilling the beans. Like, I can't get funding. I can't get help. I gotta fund my own stuff. I'm going broke trying to plan this, trying to plan that. And then they're gonna start telling all the maleficent secrets of the past. Cause if I can't get what I need to get now, I'll make sure y'all reputation is marred in the future. Said established artists have been talking about the popular, untalented social media stars getting label resources for a while. Well, I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, you could pay them a whole lot less to do a whole lot more. And when it's all said and done, um, most of them aren't business savvy, unfortunately. So they'll sign just about anything just so that they can be at the table. And then they'll get turned and burnt. The company will keep all their biggest hits, and they'll do good if they can go do an old school show. If, because a lot of these artists, they're just not going to make it to do an old school concert. Um, yeah, it's like they look at something that they did, a leap of faith that brought nothing but burdens. Child, a leap of faith that brought nothing but burdens. And it feels like even from the beginning, it was a 50-50 shot, to where people in corporate may have already said that I don't think this is the best deal, but somebody fought for it and now they're sorry. Yeah, they celebrated this, this they obsessed with it even. They like, hey, we're gonna have the top three, we're gonna dominate, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, spare no expense. And child, it looked like they wish they never invested. Yeah, they're waiting for their investment to finally pay off. And for those that don't, cycles are closing. So I don't see this as a bad thing necessarily for the artist, because some of these artists, it's like it helps them to free themselves from what already wasn't the best contract anyway. And now they get to move forward and have opportunities working as indies, and not even signing back up for these large big budget contracts that seem to be outdated. So 10 of cups, 10 of pentacles. Yeah, you're gonna have more artists are that are going to go back to like the roots. It's like I've been in the game long enough to understand how to do business. We're going to condense this. We're going to start our own thing, and we're going to get out here and get money. Two of swords to the moon. Yeah. Child took a leap of faith with this independent artist, wish fulfillment. But it's like when you got the Knight of Wands, that's here today, gone tomorrow, fly by night. So they haven't been able to find the one, the one that was gonna be like Neo. Nobody ever lasts. So it's like they feel like we're gonna just move forward, close this cycle, because it's like now it's evident, it's being exposed to people. They're seeing the truth about this plan, and it's like we're gonna just cut our losses, move on, nothing to see here, and look for whoever is going to be the next up that can take this person's spot. But it looks like whoever is next up is once again here today, gone tomorrow. So they're going to keep offering and keep offering what looks like smaller artists the same opportunity. They're just going to spend way less to present it to them. Yeah. So they got no choice. Five of Pentacles. Something damn near cost them everything. They got to move forward. The Empress. The Empress and the Nine of Pentacles. Child, hmm, it's literally like they're looking at people's lifestyle choices. Okay, every time it's time for you to produce for the company, you end up ready to bring a new family member. So they're looking at who's going to continue to work, who's going to continue to produce. We'll go with more of these independent artists. Jack, don't nobody do artist development anymore. They haven't done that in a very long time. You think they were spending money just to do this? You got to think about the budgets that they slashed when they stopped doing artist development. Because when they did artist development, they had to work with you for at least a year, possibly two, to develop your sound, to get you ready for the stage, to make sure that you could actually enunciate your words and speak properly and be interview ready. I think artist development is a huge plus to any label, but they don't want to take the time, nor do they want to spend the money that it takes to develop artists, because once you do that, then you have to hire real songwriters, real musicians. You have to hire actual choreographers that are going to be in house. You need house musicians that are ready to work at a moment's whim when that person is inspired. What happened if, the person get all the ideas at night, and then you can go in here at night with a live band and work. Like, they're not trying to spend the money it takes to develop someone when they can go and get somebody, shake them off, give them a little, a little swag coach. Okay, well, we looked at the internet and this is what's popping right now. So we're going to get you someone that's going to coach you on how to navigate social media versus developing you. I mean, to me, I feel like if they put that money back in artist development, they wouldn't have to do all of this because the artists that they put out would be artists that they can trust to actually go out there and produce, make money for themselves, let alone for the company. But the good thing is all of that can happen for independent artists that really want it. Put the work into yourself. Go take some vocal classes. Go and, get you a couple of keyboard lessons so you can learn how to do your scales and how to write out your music if you don't have a team. Invest in yourself. Yeah. So, whoo, it's like in the past, they were willing to work with you, looking for the artists that were going to be the cream of the crop. Now, everybody pretty much has to bend these corners and do what they got to do alone. So it's sad, but we're gonna see more artists talk about being disappointed, being dropped, being shelved, not getting advertisement budgets, and it's literally going to go down to what do you produce, you know um what do you have to bring to the table, do you have a deposit on what you're trying to drop? Okay, we'll match you. And once it gets to that, it's like, if we'll match you, then I might as well just go ahead and get a distribution company, because I can go to a distributor and say, hey, I want, you know let's say 500,000 pressed up and ready to go. I can match you, you know, 250,000 to 250,000. And they'll say, "Oh, okay, well, if you're going to pay for this up front, then we can do this on the back." And then that way, by the time the first that you invested in is paid for, that rolls off into the next that you're about to sell. You might as well just go ahead and work independent under, these types of stipulations, in my opinion. But damn, so it does look like something ain't right over there in Atlantic, child. And if you're not signed to them, I wouldn't sign to them until they figure it out. This is like going to stay with your friend, and then you find out your friend got an eviction notice. Like, they about to put you up out of here anyway. I think I'm gonna keep my money and go somewhere else. Damn. Okay. Now let me get these. Let me get these out of the way. Child. Ooh. Sound like you're gonna be over there independent without being independent. All righty. Tokyo Tony puts a restraining order on Tia Kemp, allegedly. Child, when I first saw this and I watched the video earlier, I want to say I think it was the Day and Night Network. Shout out to them. Um, I see the downfall on both sides. Okay. But the bigger downfall in this situation is going to be on Tia Kemp's side. And the reason why is Tia Kemp publicly admitted to constantly calling Tokyo Tony, and then made the statement that her and her fans would get Tokyo Tony 5150 allegedly. They would get her Baker acted. That was the terminology. Now, Tokyo Tony states that she never puts her phone on do not disturb. She never cuts her phone off because she has children, she got family, nieces and nephews who need her, but it got so disturbing that she had to turn her phone off. And I see the play. I see the play. And here's the thing. Tokyo Tony said, I want to do this the legal way first. That way, you know, I did everything I needed to do and I'm covered just in case. I said, child, you're going to keep it up and this is going to sound premeditated in a moment. But at this moment, at this moment, Tia Kemp is the one that's at a loss. Because once she asked you publicly to stop calling her phone, and she stated that she didn't feel safe, she felt harassed, you should have stopped right then and there. To come back online and talking about my fans this, my fans that, child, this is way beyond fans at this point because your fans will be seeing you out here like Brene and Tim, and you don't want to be down to the courthouse, and these fans don't show up to help you out of these troubles. Now, Tia, you could have put out a public statement and said, you know what? Since that's what you want to do, I'm not going to contact you anymore. And from here on out, neither one of us got to deal with each other. And that's just going to be that. Everybody that's over here with me, leave her alone. Don't say nothing to her. Fall back. So to me, it's like the silliest thing ever because if this does become a legal thing, the both of you get booked by a lot of the same people, which means you can't be booked at the same time because they got to look at, okay, if I book you and she got paperwork on you, you can't come. And then if I book you, even though your name makes more money, she can't be here in the building at all. So it's one of those things to where it's like I feel like they both went too far. And now nobody knows how to reel it back in. So y'all let's tap in and see what the energy is like between the young teas and if this is even going to turn into a thing or if they both just going to let this go. I feel like they both should just let this go. With Tia, real talk, once she got public talking about you were calling her all night and she had to cut her phone off, you contact her after that, you setting yourself up. Because everything she's saying sound like she building a case. So y'all, let's see what the shenanigans are with the young teas, okay? Because to me it sounds like the both of them need to find a better way to use each other to trend. Because instead of y'all getting more bookings, y'all gonna make it to where ain't nobody gonna book neither one of y'all because this is getting a little too messy. Show me what's gonna happen between the two of them. Show me what's gonna happen between Tony and Tia. T and T. Tony and Tia. What's gonna happen between Tony and Tia? So you got 10 of Cups here, 5 of Pentacles. Child, it this is a deficit on both sides, and I feel like, their people on both sides are telling them that this is going to block money. So you've got some secrets here that have not come out yet. Queen of Wands, which can be a fire sign or can be the one out of the two that has more reach, more popularity. Somebody's going to resort to possibly spilling somebody's secrets. So you got the High Priestess and you've got the King of Swords. So if I was Tia, I would not take this lightly because child, it looks like she's definitely willing to contact the authorities. Yeah, this is a whole bunch of mess. Hey Frosty, happy birthday. Child, this is a mess. And it's like this, if this becomes legal, it's so much more that we don't know that is gonna come out. King of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, on Tia's side, I could really see that, you know, if it's not the man she's dating, this could even be Rick that could tell her, look, just fall back, let her be. Like, I'll even throw you a couple dollars, like, just don't do this because of the type of smoke that it could bring. And here's the crazy part. Y'all, when it come down to it, this is like someone being cut off from their intuition. And also, yeah, the feds did just go to Tony's house. Also, y'all, nobody knows why these two really fell out. Okay. Nobody knows why these two really fell out. I mean, it's like when you go back trying to figure out what was the actual piece that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Y'all, it gets convoluted. It's like, what the hell are y'all really beefing over? 4 of Wands, 9 of Wands. So this is really going to put a struggle on their stability. Okay. And this is going to tap into how somebody actually is financially stable as well. Y'all, this is going to be a mess. I say that this should stop here. The cards are saying they should go in a different direction, um, if they're going to continue to work to make money, because this is really, really, really about to go in a weird place. You said the fact that the card is holding them back from each other. Yeah, and here it is, like the Empress, the Ace of Wands, because this is getting out of hand really, really fast. And I feel like it's getting out of hand to the point to where possible men may have to mediate. Yeah. King of Wands, Ten of Swords. So yeah, this is why I feel like men might have to mediate because it's gonna get to the point to where somebody's gonna want to start spilling secrets and telling all types of things, and it's like, wait a minute, this is not just affecting y'all. This is, putting people's families in some peculiar situations because all of this don't need to be aired out. So feel like somebody trying to get somebody to apologize for how they came off, the things that they done said online, because they like, you got to think of the bigger picture here. Is family involved? This can affect way more than just you. Yes, Five of Cups. Um, Something that somebody doesn't want out because this falls under the moon, because it's going to bring a lot of public shame and humiliation. Okay, Queen of Wands. If I'm not mistaken, y'all, isn't Tokyo Tony the fire sign? I believe she's a Sagittarius. If I'm wrong, somebody please let me know. Yeah, cycle coming to an end, bringing heartbreak. So she is a fire sign. Thank you. I don't think Tia is taking this serious, but this really could turn legal. And if it turns legal, then this is going to affect a lot of other things when it comes to her working, how she is able to go out here and tour. Yep, ten of uh, 10 of Wands, 9 of Wands. So if she's already, fighting to build and establish her name, this can make it really, really hard for her to go out and do what it is she needs to do to build up her brand. Which one is the Libra? Let me see. So T is a Scorpio. Oh, well, that explains why she won't let go, because Scorpio will go into the end of time if she is a Scorpio. Um, I don't see the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups haven't landed on the table yet. It's like these are men that are negotiating. So this is definitely like corporate people that, okay, so T is the air sign. Okay. Yeah, she's not. Said Tokyo is a Libra and T is the Scorpio. Okay, got it. Yeah, wish fulfillment and a leap of faith. Child, 6 of Pentacles. Ooh, child. I would say, if I was talking to Tia, take this more serious than you plan on taking it. Take this more serious than you plan on taking it. Just, leave her alone. Don't go back and forth with her, because now she has the upper hand, because you stated on your own platform that you kept calling her, and you were going to weaponize your fan base to move against her on your behalf. So Lemmy is an Aries. Okay, Lemmy's on the table already then. 4 of Pentacles. This talks about being stubborn. Okay. both wanting to make generational wealth but being stubborn. So is this going to just be used for marketing purposes when it's all said and done? Is Ten of Swords going under the Page of Wands, which is telling me that somebody decided to go in a new direction after feeling betrayed. Like I done been through the ringer with you. Literally, this is I may not win the battle, but I'm going to win the war. So this is Tokyo being very strategic on her end. Like I may not have been able to get you one way, but I'm going to get you another. So if she couldn't get you to fight her, she's going to fight you legally. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Um, Tony feel like God is on her side and she's going to avail, and she's going to take this opportunity. So I really say that Tia should take this more serious than she does, because she could literally put you in a position to where you don't make any money and people don't want to invest in you because they don't want to take a loss. And this Five of Pentacles is falling under the King of Wands. He definitely don't want to lose no money. Yeah, Seven of Cups. Considering options on how to get funding or get money. Somebody is still going to use this for marketing purposes, but I would tell Tia that, you might think that she just talking shit. You might think she's joking, but take this more serious than you are. So you got lots and lots of anxiety because it's like the truth is going to come out about a situation. King of Swords in the world. Yeah, this is definitely going to make the people that are over whatever the opportunity is, hold back on funding new projects. Very, very deep in their feelings, but not saying anything, especially now that this is turned legal. Yeah. So whoever it is that's supposed to be funding the projects that they were supposed to work, in, it's like they don't need any truth to come out that could cause them to be in a bind that they can't get out of. Ten of Wands. So somebody about to start spilling the beans about some stuff they ain't got no business talking about. So now it's like here it is, not knowing how to move forward, how to work with somebody. Two of Cups, Five of Swords. So I don't know if these two were supposed to come back on and do a show, but they just can't get along due to arguing. Because it feels like it would have been a good show to bring them on a show until it got to the point to where it's like, oh, we can't have these two around each other due to legal problems. Yeah. Somebody needs some damn money too. But it also this is like a betrayal because they went in a different direction. So let's say if these two were supposed to work together, but the network execs decided not to, and they decided to give funding to another project to go work with somebody else because folks couldn't get along. Somebody really, really took this to heart and saw it as a big betrayal. And they may have tried to rectify this for a while, to offer between the two of them to, sit down and talk or to figure this out, and it just kept going left. Yep. So King of Wands just wants balance through a new beginning, independent woman. And it's like, I'm going to go with whichever one is the one that's going to make me money. But I'm not going to deal with the both of y'all if all this legal stuff comes, because the last thing we need is for anybody to be around here, bringing the law and looking into stuff, especially right now. So, who have mercy? I, I'm just like, wow. The pretty cards. Thank you. These are on sale right now on Amazon. I think with the discount, they're under $8 now. So if anybody's interested in getting this deck, you can get it for under $8 on Amazon. Child, that's a whole lot of headache. And it seemed like these two can't come together without arguing. So if I was a exec, I wouldn't bring these two together either. It's in the long run, it's not worth it. But it looked like they were better working together than they were apart. All righty. So academic says that Nikki is right. And he says that, people should protect Nikki, the Barbs for sure. And I want to tap into why academics is now stating that Nikki has been right this whole time. Now, he did say a while ago that people were not going to, listen to Nikki, or, people were going to see down the line that, she was accurate. So he has been giving her props throughout this time, but it felt more genuine this last time around. And I want to know what it is that is inspiring him to speak in this manner as of recently. All righty. Show me the energy behind academics saying that people should protect Nikki and she's right. Why is Livingston telling us to protect Nikki and stating that she is right? Oh, you can't make this up. So you got the artist. And I picked this deck solely for this one card. Every time I see this one card, it reminds me of Nikki at the beginning of her career, like 5-star chick when she had the black wig with the pink highlights under the wig. So here she is, 5 of Swords. Okay, and talks about conflict and communication, things that are being said about her that is in conflict. And that, when I tell you, like, the way that card just popped out, it literally shot out the deck. Yeah, the Emperor, okay, and the Sun. So he knows that someone is about to be exposed pretty soon, um, attached to Nikki and what's been happening to Nikki. Now, everything I'm saying is alleged and for entertainment purposes only, allegedly. So he knows that a very, very big figure is going to be exposed because of Nikki. And he also knows it has to do with rectifying a situation with an air sign, okay, an Aquarius, and how they fight against her 5 of Wands, and this Aquarius who may have allegedly been in a physical altercation. Hmm. Okay. So 6 of Wands talks about moving forward towards victory. So he's stating it, 6 of Cups, 6 of Wands. These people want to escape their past and be able to move forward as if, nothing has happened, or they're not going to be held accountable for things that they've done in their past. But here it is, Four of Cups. Somebody's about to finally feel what it's like to be denied. And it feels like Act knows that somebody's day is coming soon. Yeah. Ace of Wands. Not only is the day coming soon, it's coming faster than people know. Their day is going to be had in court, the Hierophant, very, very public figure who's attached to some very high level people. But it's like you're trying to rush everything through the court system, but your day is coming in court. And this person thinks that they're going to have opportunities that are going to come through possible assistance with the court, with once again an air sign or air signs. Okay. um mm-mm. So what do you know, Livingston, that is making you state, because this feels very matter of fact. I am not a academic spokesperson. We never met. I never talked to him. He's probably never heard of me, child. But it feels very matter of fact what he's saying. He believes what he's saying in his heart, wholeheartedly, that whoever this is going to go down over this air sign that they thought that they were going to just be able to skate by and leave information in the past. It's like he can feel it in his spirit, whether he says it out loud or not. The spiritual energy on my table when it comes to him is that he knows that something is about to happen really, really swiftly. Something is coming out, and he doesn't know how fast, but he knows it's going to happen quickly, and it's tied to the court. And whatever this is that's tied to the court is going to bring opportunities, but not for who people think. Yeah, not for who people think. Look at that. The strength card, the Leo, July, Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior who doesn't win the war, but he ends up, doesn't win the battle, but he ends up winning the war. There we go. Okay. So this Leo, this fire sign, who is the wounded warrior who's been fighting and fighting and fighting, is finally going to win. And he feels like he knows this without a doubt, unequivocally, whether he says this or not out loud. So he's waiting for this other shoe to drop. He doesn't know when, but he knows it's coming soon. He can feel it. Seven of Cups. He's looking at these people are exhausting every opportunity that they have, even if they have to betray people. Also exhausting all the opportunities over a betrayal that they can't take back. Yeah, something that they did, thought that they were being strategic, being slick, backdoored someone, put all of this burden on this person. Ten of Wands, Seven of Swords, over something or someone they invested in. Seven of Pentacles. And they made sure that they also invested in the narrative that went out. Knight of Swords. It almost feels like he has proof of what I'm looking at on this table. Like I said, I've never met him. He ain't never met me. He's probably never heard of me because I'm over here on the little cute side of YouTube where, he may not look all the way over here in the crack or the crevice where we like to kick it. But I'm pretty sure that this is not far off. Okay. Yeah. Queen of Wands in the world. So he knows that these people want to bring an ending to a Queen of Wands, and this is the reason why they fight her the way that they do, even if they try to fight her physically. He knows that they're trying to bring an end to the Queen of Wands, the fire sign. So, he's hoping that she's able to go in a different direction. He may have even been afraid of her going in the direction that she's going in. Like, I hope she goes in a different direction. Um, but it looks like her standing her ground is making a King of Wands go in a different direction. Yeah. Queen of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Five of Wands. So it's like everything is literally upside down. It's topsy turvy over them fighting for or fighting to protect a Queen of Swords, an air sign. And this air sign literally falls under the emperor. The very, very powerful person that controls everything is over this Queen of Swords. And now it's like they're gambling, scrambling, trying to figure out what they're going to do, how they're going to continue this fight, because they know that we're watching at this point. Also, allegedly controlling the narrative on the messages that are coming out for this Aquarius, this star. Yeah. Five of Swords, Knight of Wands. So this talks about, people being penalized for what they say about this person's, grown up activities, here for today, gone tomorrow. So if you talk about somebody being a thought, it's automatically considered to be negative conversation. So he may have alleged proof of being contacted about certain things that he said, because they did not fit a specific narrative on this person. Said, do y'all remember when they asked Ack and Millie if they were getting paid and they were looking for the payments? They're about to expose the real payments. Um, I don't see them exposing any payments for academics, because academics already said that he does get paid to do promotion for artists. So with him saying that, you can't expose him for taking payments for, marketing artists, because that's what he does. The record labels all pay academics for the exact same thing. So you would have to have way more than him receiving a payment to market an artist. That's literally what he does. So they can't use that. But what they are going to try to do is, try to talk about him being misogynistic, him speaking about, like slut shaming, whore policing, things of that nature, um, to state that he hates women and things of that type of energy. Yeah, this is what they want him to stay away from talking about. Um, her pelvic numbers allegedly, um, Ten of Swords. So they want him to leave the past in the past. They see that as a betrayal. They don't want him to talk about anything outside of what could be the alleged marketing narrative, the one that may be paid for. So he's following his intuition to continue making his money, but it's like he's preparing himself to be on the right side of history, because you got this strength card. So it's like he's trying to hold his ground, but it's like him holding his ground is, how do I say this, it's him holding his ground. It's like he has countdown, some kind of internal countdown, and he's literally just waiting for the day for this countdown because he knows that somebody's about to go down. Yeah, because the truth is coming out and somebody's going to jail. So this is the truth about somebody in jail and the truth about, coming out that's going to get somebody locked up. Seven of Cups. Show me, considering your options. Yeah, they're considering their options, but Five of Pentacles means they got nothing. They got nothing. High Priestess. Like they couldn't pay people out of this information if they wanted to because nobody knows. Nobody knows. They're literally going to have to find out when we, the public, find out. So it's like whatever they've been trying to do, whatever options they've been trying to do, they're backfiring. They're not working at all. Yep. And he feels like his investment is, after all the hardship that he's been through, his investment is going to pay off, and he just has faith. He's waiting for the moment to literally get it popping. He's like, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut until further notice, but I'm on countdown. Welcome to Tarot Class, Shantries. Yeah, I'm telling you, it feels like he knows. He knows, like his spirit is telling him it's only a matter of time. I'm counting the days. Yep. Judgment. Four of Swords. This is going to be laid to rest, and people are going to have to walk away. So he knows that this judgment is going to be final. They thought that this was just gonna be like, something where you could just say, okay, well, we'll just chill for now. But it's like, no, you're gonna have to walk away. Why? Because child, something is about to come out that they have no idea what it is. They can't avoid it, they can't stop it. It's nothing they can say because they don't know what it is. And this feels like why they're pressing academics and certain people the way that they're pressing. But baby, you might as well hang it up because they don't know. Academics doesn't know whatever this information is either, but he just got a, it's like he's got a gut feeling. He's got a gut feeling. It's like literally, it's only a matter of time. You guys are fighting and pressing and pressing and fighting, which means that you're scared. And if you're scared, then that means that this is bigger than we think. And he's following his what he considers to be like his hunch, his journalistic integrity, and he's going to follow whatever this is so that when it happens he can say, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Expect him to do like possibly like 2 to 3 day marathon off of I knew it. Him and Hennessy or him and tequila, whichever one. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Yes, him and his co-host, his drink. They gonna get their money off of this. Because at this point, he could say what he want to say. It won't be allegedly. It'll be on the docket, on the record. King of Swords, the Moon, Child, whoever this is like either a legal official. If this isn't a lawyer, this is definitely someone of higher standing in law enforcement. Everybody is waiting with bated breath. They don't know what the hell to expect. They don't know what to expect, y'all. Child. And it's forcing people to go in a different direction from the artist, the Queen of Wands, because it's like, damn, we pressing her, but it looks like we might be pressing in the wrong direction. I don't think they pressing in the wrong direction. This is one of those situations where you got an air mattress and you go to fill it up and you thought you had one leak, but now you cover this one and oh, we got another one. Cover this one and now we got another one. How can you keep the air in the air mattress if you keep finding all these different leaks? So here it is. If she was a problem, now you find out you got a problem over here, and then you got a problem over here, and you wake up in the morning and you got a problem that's also in your house. Like it's too many little fires. Like where there's smoke, there's fire. How many fires do you have to put out? So they're moving as fast as they can because there's a lot of money at stake and there's a lot of sleepless nights here, a lot of worrying, a lot of sleepless nights here. And it's like the energy that I got around academics is like, you guys are scared. If you're scared, somebody has something on you. And if somebody has something on you, any day now, the other shoe is going to drop. And I'm going to be prepared to tell the story. And this is his way of also vindicating himself. Every time something comes out, he shares it. He can share the experience in like a kindred type energy. Was like, well, I told you what I was going through, and I told you what was happening to me and my friends and my family. But wow, look at what they're doing over here. And I could only imagine if I was going through this. I only went through X, Y, and Z, but that's scary enough. Yep, five of cups, five of swords, the sword, the star. So y'all, that's public humiliation and disgrace under harsh communication, which can be considered negative, argumentative about the star, who is the wounded warrior. Child, he gonna drag this person from sea to shining sea. No sooner some type of information comes out. He's just waiting for the day. Oh, he about to get sassy, saucy, ugly. Yeah. So here it is. He's just waiting for this person's exodus, not knowing how or when, but just waiting for this person's exodus. And no sooner this person gets out, no sooner he's been cleared, he's going in. Yep. Justice, four of wands. At this point, it's like now my stability is going to be locked in. Things are what they are in the court. We get to see what we need to see. Now I can follow my intuition. I can say what I want to say now. I don't have to say allegedly. I can vindicate myself by telling somebody else's story. Y'all, Voltron has formed. Voltron has formed. Strengthen the Ace of Swords. Strengthen the Ace of Swords. Yep. He knows that when the truth comes out about this strength person, this Leo, people are going to have to apologize because there was information that nobody knew. Seven of Cups, Five of Pentacles. Yep. Something's coming out. Either Gemini season or whatever it is kicked off in Gemini season, and we're going to see the cause and effect of it soon. And it got to do with somebody's possible alleged injuries. So whatever their efforts are to stop this is not going to work because Five of Pentacles does not work. It's not enough. Seven of Swords, Ten of Wands, Seven of Pentacles. and the Wheel of Fortune. So that's someone backdooring someone, putting someone in a very complicated situation that they were not supposed to get out of, so that they could, invest in a Wheel of Fortune, a very, very prominent situation that had to do with work. Okay. So this person literally threw somebody under the bus, backdoored them so that they could have people invest in them for work and have wealth. Um, and they did it through a powerful family. Hangman is the only card that comes out in reverse. And it's like they're going to be forced to have to walk away because this is going to be direct. Hangman this way is indecisive, having to wait, not knowing how things are going to work out. Um, it's going to go from that literally to, damn, we ain't got no choice. We got to let up off of this situation because now this lawyer, this lawyer, when I say cut the head off the snake and watch the body drop, this is going to send shockwaves. Yep, the end of everything, especially someone's financial stability. Child, he's gonna be on air literally like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Like when I tell y'all, I don't care if it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Him and Hennessy will be up like, I can't believe it. This can't be real. This can't be real. People are not gonna believe it. And then they're gonna see the paperwork come across on Pacer. And it's like, oh my God, this is a real thing. I think I told y'all that in the past. When this comes to pass, people are not going to believe it. They're going to swear it's an urban legend, that it's a lie. Um, Page of Pentacles is like, child. Once this message comes out, Knight of Swords to the Page of Pentacles, this air sign is literally going to be unhireable, public humiliation, shame. Baby, everybody gonna drag you for the coin. Everybody. Now you might have a few that'll do some sympathy commentary, but the Bunami is gonna be so loud in the comment section that they're either gonna have to take the videos down or they're gonna have to change their stance. This is going to be abrasive. Oh, this is gonna be abrasive. Queen of Pentacles, Two of Swords, child. Expect somebody's wife to try to cut the ties and to leave. Like, I'm taking the children, I'm leaving. Like, all of this is going to happen whenever this announcement comes out. Crazy, this is coming out of academics. Yep. Six of Pentacles, King of Cups. So right now it's like everybody's quiet. They have a lot of feelings about what he's saying because these other people may be receiving stipends allegedly. They're going to be sorry that they received any payments or anything that could be considered as a possible kickback to report a certain way on someone who happens to be a fire sign. So you're going to see a huge divide. Some of these companies are not going to want to say anything, period. They're going to be like, oh, well, that's fake, that's fake. And baby is going to go on the Associated Press. And it's like, no, it's not. Yeah, they're going to be forced out of submission. They're going to have to talk about it. Yep, they're going to have to talk about it. This, they're, if they don't talk about this, they're not going to even manifest any imprints for the day, any real traction. So it don't matter who might be, sending people care packages to say the right thing. Those care packages, it ain't even, it don't even matter. It's in the Associated Press, it's in the global press. They're gonna have to speak on it. So a lot of alignments are about to shift because literally, once it makes it to a certain place legally, um, some of these folks might want to be careful with what they say and how they say it because they can start facing, you know, cease and desist and all types of legalities themselves. So they need to be very careful once this make it to the Associated Press. Because if they keep trying to spin a narrative and it's in the Associated Press, child, you can spin yourself right out of your company. Yeah, this is going to bring a lot of heartbreak, but people are going to have to accept that things are full steam ahead. There's no stopping, what's about to happen. So, yeah, all of this came out of why is academics saying that Nikki is right. Crazy. So he's definitely co-signing Nikki, but he knows that some other bigger things are about to come out, and people are going to realize that Nikki's not crazy. After all, she's just brave. A lot of people wouldn't dare say the things that she said. Yep, because they're worried about their generational wealth and going to jail. So, yeah, we shout out to DJ Academics energetically. Like I said, he ain't never met me. I ain't never met him. He's never seen me before, I bet you. But it looks like maybe he's waiting for that other shoe to drop. It just feels like he just knows, without knowing. He has faith that this is going to come out. He just doesn't know when. So expect him to do a sipathon and to get that paperwork and to really, really, really go in on this day when that information hits the fan because it's his way of vindicating himself and telling his story while telling someone else's. All righty. Let's see. Rainwater and the secret alleged payment. So people have been saying that they believe that Rainwater may have allegedly paid for the hit on his late artist Mo 3. Now we have no proof of that, okay? There is nothing that I've seen that's going to, prove that he's done that. This is solely an internet rumor that I'm looking into to see if it has any validity. He said, DJ Ack and Millie about to be vindicated. Tori knows where the real payments are located. We gonna have to see, child. We gonna have to see. All I can tell you is it looked like don't nobody know what to expect, and everybody's gonna be shocked. So let me see. Yeah, Rainwater, secret payment. There we go. Did Rainwater allegedly, possibly snake his own artist? If so, why would he do such a thing? Let's see. Rainwater, did you snake Mo 3? King of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles. Child, that don't look good. Three of Pentacles, look at this. This looks like people working together, triangulating a situation. King of Pentacles would definitely be someone that could be considered a financier, okay? Someone who could pay for some things. Ooh, King of Wands. King of Wands talks about action, Wheel of Fortune. So if you may have allegedly, switched up on your artist, it looked like it could have been for a possible payday, a very large one. Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. So it feels like Mo3 was going to take a leap of faith to go independent. He may have been leaving Rainwater behind, decided that he was going to go and do his own thing, allegedly. So three was leaving. Okay. Yep. And you got the Four of Wands. When he left, he was going to take the stability with him. Heartbreak. This almost feels like Diddy's energy. Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. You leave, you take the bag with you. This is what this is feeling like. Yep. And it's like things happen and they move very, very fast. People were definitely in their feelings but didn't say anything. King of Cups. So it feels like he's still not trusted. People still don't mess with him like that. He claims he's now managing country music. I don't know a soul in country music that want to be managed by Rainwater, but I mean, I could be wrong. Ten of Wands and the Seven of Wands. So here it is. Mo3 was standing on business. He was standing up for himself. Feels like this brought a situation on him that he couldn't get out of. Yes, Tiff, he said he's managing country artists. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but okay. The Sun. This talks about happier times, moving forward, getting out of the way, being able to celebrate, but he could be facing some exposure soon. Nine of Cups. Yeah, brought a wish fulfillment. Now you don't know how to move forward. So, whatever happened that he may have had a part in allegedly for entertainment purposes only, it seemed like it was supposed to be an ends to a means, something that was going to tie up some loose ends, but it ended up becoming a complication he didn't expect. Feels like it was a wish fulfillment to bring happier times, but he needs to be very mindful about how he moves now because he could face exposure. So I love how the elements are displayed on these cards. So you got the magician here. So a choice had to be made for him to continue to manifest. King of Pentacles ends up with the Wheel of Fortune. Remember, I said somebody had to stand up and defend themselves. Notice how this person is fighting everybody by himself, and there's a female involved who's holding on to him. But girl, why you holding on to this man's leg and he fighting for dear life? Why aren't you fighting with him? Looks like this woman is trying to hold him in place until these people are positioned. If you ask me, King of Wands, Seven of Cups. So yeah, that's messed up because King of Wands is a ladies' man. Seven of Cups is having multiple ladies that you deal with. Also, possibly, you kick it with this person, get high with this person. Four of Swords, you it's to the point to where you've dealt with this person on a regular basis to where you felt safe to rest at this person's house. um may have blew a blunt or two and decided to lay down, but felt comfortable enough to do so. I believe that this person was single. Yep, Five of Swords and the Eight of Cups. Y'all, these two got into it before he left the house. It's like something was said, like there was an argument or something when he left the house. Because it's like he believed that she was single or something, and it's something that she misguided him on, something she didn't tell the truth about. They got into it, he left. So they tried to make it seem like it was beef with her baby daddy, and that was the reason. I don't think he knew, or it was a thing with her and her baby daddy when he got there. So if she told him that him and her weren't messing around, he may have found out that it wasn't true. Um, and here it is, the Ten of Cups to the Page of Cups talks about how the family was trying to apologize. So they were trying to keep him there because him being there brought financial stability. So it was like everybody in the house is looking at him as a come up some kind of way. He felt some type of way about it. He ain't say nothing. He just went on about his way. Two of Wands. Yeah, so it looks like a choice was made, you know, um, over money. And it was swiftly made over money because somebody was going to literally be on their knuckles if three got to leave. So, yeah. So here it is. The Ten of Wands ends up turning into the Ten of Pentacles. So how could a complicated situation where your back is against the wall turn into the Ten of Pentacles? And then here it is, after a leap of faith, the Fool, where somebody got caught by themselves, got caught lacking. And this was how a situation was rectified to start. Child, I gotta say, in my tarot opinion, I believe his hands are as dirty as sewer water, and that if Mo3 would have lived and was able to leave him and his management, Rainwater would have been ass out. Yep, Page of Pentacles. His business practices and everything were going to be exposed if Mo3 left. So these two weren't on good terms when he left or when he was getting ready to leave. Like, I don't see these two really seeing eye to eye towards the end. And this is what people don't know. His secret wish fulfillment was to leave Rainwater behind because he was starting to see him as toxic, see him as somebody he couldn't trust, and he felt like he could do better. Yep, the Lovers. So, damn, the Lovers falls on top of the Magician. That talks about collaborating with the lover to make something happen and then possibly allegedly getting away with it. Six of Wands, moving on towards victory. And here it is, the King of Pentacles gets his Wheel of Fortune through the ultimate betrayal that you can't take back. That even though you may feel some type of way, nobody's going to say anything about it. Damn. Yeah. So it feels like he collaborated and was able to get away from this situation and to move on victoriously. I have to say, this is for entertainment purposes only. All things said are alleged. But allegedly, energetically, it looks like he put him in a position to end up the way that he ended up. And I don't know if it was the insurance policies or him, you know, possibly taking possession of his masters after death, but it feels like he had an incentive to do so. And it just, it's like you're not gonna leave me with nothing. This is what this feels like. Yep. Mo3 wanted out. He felt some type of way. The moment that he heard that he wanted out, he felt some type of way, felt very deep in his feelings. And instead of him saying how he felt to Mo, it feels like he internalized it and came up with a plan. Yep, to collaborate to get control over a situation. Yep. So, damn, King of Cups. Like he felt very deeply about the decision that he had to make because it was like it was a double-edged sword. Like you're worried about the law, but also those that are in position in the industry, they ghosted you. They would never work with you. So outside of Mo3, he can't get any more artists in the door. They don't mess with him like that. So it's like he's trying to find his footing, but nobody that has a name is going to touch him or work with him with an artist. Not anybody of real standing. Yeah, they're distancing themselves because a lot of those labels are waiting for, higher authorities to come and look at him because of the Empress. They feel like he's the one who may have brought this into fruition. So I have to say, allegedly, this is why nobody is working with him, but allegedly, it feels like people feel like he's guilty and they get anxiety at the thought of working with him. King of Swords because of law enforcement. They feel like he's still under the radar. He's still being watched. Yep. Emperor and the Empress. So this falling under the moon talks about the two that are, responsible for this actually transpiring that brought heartbreak. Seven of Wands talks about, standing up for yourself, defending yourself over, opportunities or things that were to come, not knowing how to move forward. And how did you move forward? Death, humiliating someone and death. So I feel like really, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an investigation that leads back to rainwater when this is all said and done, because it looks like and it appears to be, allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, that this could not have happened. It couldn't have transpired the way that it did without his assistance. And it seems like it would have never been a thing if Mo didn't tell him he was leaving. So the worst part of it all is that after all of this is all said and done, you're getting the same amount of energy that you would have got if you just let him leave. You were, in my opinion, afraid to let him leave because you figured that was going to be the end of your career and that was the biggest artist you were ever going to work with. Well, when it's all said and done, nobody trusts you when it comes to artists that are really expected to make it out the city or out the state. So you still ended up with the same result. Your name does not ring bells when it comes to people that folks want to work with and trust with their careers. So if your plan was to keep from going broke and to keep your legacy alive and to keep people working with you, child, was it all worth it? That's all I'm gonna say. Was it all worth it? I don't think it's worth it if you got to switch genres. You got to go from hip hop to country, and we still don't see you with any country artists. And you over there taking pictures with mob ties for what? Why are you taking pictures with Jay Prince Jr.? Really, why is he taking a picture with you? If I was him, I wouldn't have took the picture with you. All righty, so I got two subjects left. President Biden is suing Trump backslash the DOJ to keep conversations private that were used with his ghostwriter for his memoirs. Um, the investigation is supposed to see if he jeopardized public safety with things that he shared with his ghostwriter. And they want to look at the competency of his memory, which is letting me know that they're considering if he has diminished capacity. And if so, what can he be held accountable for if he has diminished capacity? So let's see how that's going to go. So show me the energy around Biden and if he's going to be able to keep his conversations, the recordings rather, of his conversations private so that they don't have to be made public, which could possibly tank his book. Okay. So you've got the Ten of Cups here, which talks about family and his family trying to possibly keep things under wraps or keep things secret. The moon at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. And there's a lot of money on the line with this book. Nine of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. So they're very stubborn about making sure that they guard and gatekeep these recordings that were had with the ghostwriter. But it looks like instead of them being worried about if he may have breached intelligence with certain things that he shared, it seems like the family is all about the money and how this is going to affect the sale of the ex-president's book. Yeah, so it feels like there are conflicting things that were said or things that may appear abrasive. Um, what type of abrasive? Five of Swords. They're definitely worried about how the public is going to perceive this if these things come into fruition. Yeah, whatever he said, there's something in particular that he said that's going to leave a sour taste in the public's mouth. And now I see the angle on talking about his mental acuity, trying to see if he has diminished capacity, because it seems like what they're going to do is blame whatever the toxic communication may possibly be on the diminished capacity. Yeah, things that he said about the past are definitely, giving someone pause. So, yeah. So the Emperor and the Knight of Cups. So I feel like they offered for him to turn these recordings over so that they could check them to be sure. The question is, though, how in the world did it get back to the federal government that he may have said something that could have been considered um, unsafe when it comes to the record keeping of the American public? That's kind of interesting. So, yeah, it's like they made the offer to his loved ones first. So that in itself is telling me that they do believe he has diminished capacity. So they may have gone to his family members first to reason with them about some things that have been said. But it seems like the family is only worried about the financial side of this and what they're going to get, the Six of Pentacles and the Devil. Yeah, they're obsessed with it. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a signing bonus or something that they're supposed to get from this book, but they're very, very concerned about the money that is attached to this book and how this is supposed to affect the family overall. And y'all, the DOJ, the president, our current president, is definitely going to get to the bottom of this. So it's like they're at this point, you can have our lawyers meet with your lawyers, but we're willing to go the distance to get the information we need to find out what's going on here. So here it is. Somebody's being very stubborn and they're just trying to get out of this situation. But Five of Swords means there is something conflicting here in a message that is, supposed to come out in this book. And they thought they could just push it off and move past Five of Pentacles. So it's like the family has it in their mind that they're not going to be able to hear or see the messages. They're not going to be able to get it. But y'all, it's like whatever this is, if he was in his right capacities, he may actually, face charges or face some kind of legal action if he doesn't have diminished capacity. So here it is. They're trying to figure out how they're going to maneuver to move, you know, through this situation without any type of retribution. Yeah, excuse me. What's going on with this lash? Yeah, it's like something in the past that was discussed that this is going to shine light on. Um, and it's also something that has to do with like a contract and money with the DOJ. It's something very, very, very scathing when you break it down. And it seems like it's a fleeting comment, but it leads to something way bigger that has to do with corruption from the past. So here we go. The Knight of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, and Death. It's like he's trying to get his memoirs done before he passes away. At least that's what it feels like with the family. Is like they're trying to get this book done and out of the way before he passes away. Because I guess allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, the sales from this book is what's supposed to keep the family wealthy after he's gone. Everything is being geared towards him not being here too much longer, allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, it's like the loved ones are total opportunists. This is for them to get balanced through a new beginning. So yeah, it's yeah, somebody in the family is super greedy, and they're preparing themselves for this man no longer being here, and for them to continue on his legacy after he's gone. So you got the Empress and the Devil here, and child, this is wild because it almost gives the energy of the way that people are talking about Erica Kirk. The Death card and the Six of Wands. So they're yeah, they want the legal officials to just bring this to an end so that they can move forward towards victory. But it's almost like the way that they're handling it is making the authorities feel like you got something to hide. What are you trying to get away with? Yeah. So judgment, nine of swords. They're very, very, very nervous about whatever this is actually seeing the light of day. Um, yeah, it's like if this sees the light of day, they won't make any money off of this book. And they can't afford the negative conversation that is going to actually make it hard for them to sell this book. I would think he's done plenty of other things financially to where his money should be just fine and people wouldn't have to think like this. But it's some kind of burden here that they've manifested if they get a hold to all of the recordings. So here it is, balance through a new beginning through means that people don't see or may not expect. Yeah, I believe President Biden slipped up and exposed something that could get people locked up. Yep, and his family is fighting to stop this from coming out because it's like if this comes out, they're going to be sorry, and they're just going to have to lean on the diminished capacity, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. But it looks like some really, really toxic stuff that went on that could get somebody locked up. So I'm going to end that channel. Wow. So yeah, it looked like the family feels like, hey, if this gets out, this ruins everything for us. We lose everything. So we're gonna fight to keep this quiet, but I don't know how far they're gonna be able to go with that. Said they will lose their pardons. It look like they're gonna lose a lot more than that. So it's like everything is on the line if they're not, careful. So I only got one more topic to go. Actually doing pretty good to make it through all these topics. And I'm just at 10 o'clock. All righty. Last topic of the evening, child. Netflix fallout over MJ scandal, allegedly. So a lot of people are really, really angry with Netflix because Netflix has decided to put out a documentary that would be highlighting the trial that Michael was on over 30 years ago with the Child SA lawsuit. So people are extremely upset about this because they're saying that this man has been under investigation. He was actively under investigation by the feds for 13 years, but it's 33 years later since y'all opened that, and he was found innocent on all accounts. Why would you choose now as the time that you would put this documentary out when you know the end result is that he was acquitted of every single count? So people are very, very angry with Netflix, and they're swearing that they're canceling all of their subscriptions, just like they did with Jimmy Kimmel. Now, I want to see, how is this going to affect Netflix? Are they going to take this documentary down? Or is Netflix actually going to be sued by Michael Jackson's estate because they actually knew that he was acquitted on all charges? So, child, I canceled Netflix when they kept going up on their price every other month. It's like I remember when Netflix was cheap. Now it's more than my damn Apple Music. Yeah, I remember that. Jack Hanna said the father of one of the accusers admitted that they were lying before he self-deleted. Yeah. And nobody ever talks about that. Nobody ever mentions that. Show me the energy around Netflix now that people are claiming that they're going to cancel their memberships over the treatment of Michael Jackson. 7.99 now 24.99. Child, I didn't even know they made it up to 24 because I stopped at 14. So you've got the Empress here and the King of Wands, and it feels like this is already being felt. Like Netflix is bracing themselves because now they're looking at, the creator. What you say, Tyrell? Are you giving me lyrics from music? Yes, that remember the time. You giving me lyrics. I know my music. Tyrone is giving me remember the time in the comments, y'all. Hilarious. Yeah, two of swords, five of swords. So people are, putting their money where their mouth is. They are cutting them off due to what they see to be abrasive communication. So people are holding them to that King of Swords, which represents the legal department and whoever is over on corporate. They're seeing this as a problem. Nine of Wands. So this talks about if you might not win the battle, but you end up winning the war. Queen of Wands. So there's a female that is fighting, and this is probably Paris, because Paris has been fighting on behalf of her father and actually winning the cases that she's been fighting recently for the estate. But it's like people are getting really, really tired of Netflix being tone deaf. Six of Cups and the Devil. So it's like you pick the most torturous and demonic thing to highlight during this time. They're seeing them as, having a negative intentions, being evil in their intentions. And here it is. Netflix is they're being looked at literally as the devil right now. And now people are going to look at if they want to do business with Netflix because they're being hit back to back with the public rejecting them. Nine of Pentacles. And see, in the past, they had the lion's share of the business because apps weren't really that big of a thing. But now you have all these other apps now that people can go to conduct business with. Yeah. And people realize like you want to bring complications to Netflix, affect their money. Ten of Pentacles. So what is Netflix going to do about this? So it looks like they want to continue to work with independent companies and entities, but the complication of the public turning on them, they didn't expect this. Yeah, it's like at this point, independent projects are what's keeping the lights on with them. Two of Swords. Put something on a Two of Swords. Yeah, people move swiftly and they're losing a lot of money. This is just as bad as the Jimmy Kimmel situation and it could get worse. They lost billions with Jimmy Kimmel within a matter of days. So now they're looking at the actions of those that are, uploading on their app. And it's like, is this really worth it? Are we going to fight this? They're deep in their head about this one because it's like this might not be the one that we want to take full throttle. Six of Cups. We thought we were just going to show, this mention from his past. You know, now they're up in their head about why did we even decide to do this. They didn't expect the adverse reaction that they got from the public. They just thought that hey, the movie is streaming, we're gonna make a lot of money. Everybody's gonna want to see everything, Michael. They did not expect for the public to become angry. Yeah, the Sun and Justice. Yeah, they could even face legal problems behind this as well. Yeah. They just knew they were going to celebrate, that this was going to be the talk of the town. They are deep in their thoughts, Eight of Swords, because they did not expect the general public to reject them, which causes them a heavy burden that's too heavy for them to carry. Yeah. They're going to try to roll this burden over to the filmmaker. That's their wish fulfillment. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. But I don't see that working either. Yeah, it's lots of conflict and communication behind the scenes. with those that collaborated. So they're looking, the public is looking at this collaboration as one of the worst things that they could have ever done. And now it's like they're really, really in their thoughts about, we took this on, but maybe we shouldn't have. Yeah, MJ is definitely loved globally. And his numbers right now are through the roof. Like if you check his current streaming numbers, he's out streaming everybody on all the retro hits. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Now one of my cards had escaped. I don't even know where the card went, y'all. Somebody got the hell on. Oh, here it is. All the way up under me. Okay. Lord have mercy. So, whoo, Five of Wands in reverse, child. This is a fight they realize that they can't win. No wonder they ran off. Yes, they ran off like Dr. Little. This is a fight that they can't win. Five of Wands in reverse. So it's like they're trying to figure out how to move on from this PR crisis to get balance, but there is no balance. People are angry, and here it is. They got plenty of anxiety because they never expected people to see them as maleficent. Yeah, this is something that is like we don't want you to issue a statement. We want you to take it down first. Don't just issue a statement and you're still running this. Take this down. Tower. They can't balance this with the public. This is literally ruining their brand. I mean, I say power to the people because really if you're going to tell the story and you're telling the story 33 years later, the biggest part of the story 33 years later is that y'all didn't find anything. He was acquitted on all charges and he literally was researched for 13 years. You mean to tell me in 13 years they couldn't find anything? The feds don't work like that. If they went for 13 whole years and found nothing, believe me, there was nothing to find. So why is that not the angle of the documentary? And it's like this is what's giving people pause. It's like you want to do this after he dies, when he gets his accolades. Y'all want to try to rehash this old story, this old narrative, and people are not allowing this. It's like, no, we're not going to allow you to tear his name down in death, and you're doing it by choice when you could rectify this story and tell the other side of the story, which is he wasn't found guilty on any charges. Yeah, Five of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. They are losing a ton of money. I mean, a ton of money. Now, I wonder, okay, where is the person to tell us how much they're losing from Michael, because they made sure that they let us know how much money they lost with Jimmy Kimmel every day until they gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. we got an update on how much money they lost. Where is the person to update us on how much Netflix is losing due to Michael? Uh, no, I didn't see that John McCain, co-executor of Michael Jackson's estate, uh, passed away yesterday. First that I'm hearing of it. It sounds very interesting that all of this is happening simultaneously as well. Page of Wands, Six of Wands, and the World. So this is showing them that they should have went in a different direction, and they're trying to figure out whatever way they can move forward to get out of this situation, because they're just trying to get back to conducting business. But people are over it. They're over it. So remember I told y'all Gemini season was gonna get it cracking. And baby, when I tell you like people are over it, like this is really hitting them hard. Excuse me, everybody. This is really hitting them hard. And the bigger question is, how do we know how bad they're being punished for their actions if everybody is being so quiet about the money that's being lost from Netflix? Like it's just it's crazy to me how nobody is talking about how many people have unsubscribed, because they definitely let us know with Jimmy Kimmel. It got so bad that they were begging people to keep their memberships and saying that if you don't unsubscribe today, we'll give you half off or 70% off if you don't leave. So why are we not hearing that same groundswell now? So it right now they're trying to get balanced through a new beginning after this PR nightmare, because everybody is looking at them as literally the devil. Yes, buddy, Seven of Cups. They're considering every option that they have in private to try to rectify this, but the Five of Wands in reverse, this is something that they can't fight. They can't fix this. And here it is. It's like you guys will do anything for money. The devil to the Ten of Pentacles. You'll do anything for money. Like you're corrupted. This is the way the public sees them. They have to say allegedly for entertainment purposes only. The Truth, and the King of Pentacles. So people are really going to go after the creator or the director of this documentary. Like, you knew the truth and you still put this out. Like, this person is going to have it really really hard for putting this out, knowing that they're still stirring the old narrative. And it's like, we did it for the money. Now they feel guilty. So you said Alexa play Money by MJ. Child, they everything they thought they were gonna get out of this turned into a tower moment. Yeah, you said right, play Kevin Hart roast pretty nasty. Child, they catching hell over there. Yeah, now that the message has gotten out, it's like they're scrambling, they're juggling, they're trying to figure out how can they rectify this for the company. Yeah, so expect them to start trying to give out incentives to get people back on their company, on their app, but they're trying not to address the reason why. So, y'all, I say that somebody needs to figure out what are the numbers that they're losing and put them on blast so more people know about it, because it seems like they're trying to keep this one as quiet and as hush hush as they possibly can. They don't want people to understand how upset the public is over MJ, because it's like this would be the ultimate betrayal, the nail in the casket for them. literally to work with this filmmaker, this film creator. It's like everybody sees this as the worst betrayal ever. And this leap of faith is starting to look foolish when it comes to the Netflix execs. Yeah. So people are following their intuition, and it's like, hey, are you going to say sorry or what? We're waiting for a statement. What do you have to say about yourself? And I see that they're going to make a concerted effort to try to stand up against the narrative, and that's in the wrong direction. So if they fight to try to continue to show this, this is going to really, 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 really be a black eye for Netflix and their public approval, because they just won't be the same afterwards. Yeah. So somebody up there in the upper office is definitely deep in their thoughts about this, because it's like power to the people. People have way more power than they know. They're looking at everything that they invested in literally shriveling up. They're gonna have to streamline some things. That some changes have to be made. So yeah, they didn't expect the public to move so strong and to be so strong in their energy. And here it is. It's like they're not saying anything as of yet, but they're feeling this. They are feeling this. Um, yeah, people are just taking a leap of faith to ghost them, which is like unsubscribe. And this is a wish fulfillment because people know that they care about the money. That's all they care about is the money. So mind you, this happened before June 1st, and that's when the Breakfast Club's supposed to go live on Netflix. Child, a terrible time, because they looks like they're gonna have to put a hold on some of these shows, cancel these contracts, because if they can't get a certain amount of subscribership and viewership, child, I don't know who the hell gonna watch you, but they probably won't be doing it over here. So it looked like a whole nother company scrapping folks unless they make them money. Last card. Yeah. So you got the death card here, and you've got the high priestess. So it looks like it would be best for them to just go ahead and scrap this documentary. But don't be surprised if Netflix decides to, corner the market on both sides and then put out a documentary that shows how Michael, was set up and taken advantage of, and they make their money on both sides to say that they're being unilateral. I wouldn't be surprised one way or the other. So I'm just gonna go ahead and end it for this evening because I'm tired, y'all. But I will be here tomorrow night at 7:30 for membership. And then I'll be back at 8 p.m. on Friday for Allegedly Fridays, where all things said are for entertainment purposes and are allegedly. Who have mercy? We could tap into the Breakfast Club and how they're going to do on Netflix on Friday. And yeah, I need to rest my brain because it seems like every 5 minutes these people have a PR crisis. But I can't wait to see what's going to happen with ACT when whatever this information is comes forward, because it looked like he gonna have him a ball, a whole marathon, y'all. And it's going to be a very interesting watch. So if you like to book me, please email me on angelkissestheoracle@gmail.com. 30-minute reading is 44, an hour is 88, an ancestral reading is 111, and a criminal aid reading is 250. I thank all of you for all of your support, your viewership, and showing up every week. Child. Um, and an unofficial shout out to a cousin that don't know that he a cousin, Alex B. Cause child, the way that Alex B got everybody windmilling in the street right about now, he's definitely one to have on your roster. If he's with you, who could be against you? But I'm gonna go ahead, get out of here, y'all. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and I will see y'all soon. Nighty night.